Today I'd like to show you how to solve a multiplication equation using its inverse operation of division. That might sound kind of complicated, but I'll walk you through it today on teachvid.com. So we have our equation here, n times 5 equals 20. Not a difficult equation, something we could probably do in our head. However, we want to learn how to do this when it's simple, so that when we get more difficult equations, we understand how to solve this kind of equation. I've got some snap cubes here to get us started. Let's go over to the balance and see how this works. So here we have n times 5 equals 20. We have the 5 on this side, and we're going to go ahead and put the n in there with it. On the other side, we have 20. The idea here with an equation is that we get these to be balanced. The way that we're going to do that when we have a multiplication sign is that we're going to use division. Division is the inverse property of multiplication. And so we're going to say, all right, if I have 5 inside here, and I divide 5 by 5, I end up with 1. On the opposite side, I have 20. Well, 20 divided by 5, that equals 4. So now on this side, I have n times 1, which is simply going to be n, equals 4. So we found out our variable here, n equals 4. Let's go back to the board and see how this works out. So here we are with n times 5 equals 20. We just solved it, so we know that n equals 4. Let's see what it looks like on paper. So I'm going to go ahead and write down n times 5, and what we did over at the balance was what we divided by 5 equals, and since we divided by 5 on the left side, I have to do that also on the right side. So when we solve that, we'll say 5 divided by 5, well, that equals 1. So I have n times 1 on this side. 20 divided by 5 equals 4. And so I have n times 1, that's just going to simply be n equals 4. Let's go ahead and do a check on this to make sure that we're right with our variable. Up here I had n times 5 equals 20, so instead of the n, I'm going to put 4 times 5 equals 20. And when I solve 4 times 5, that is 20 equals 20. So we see that we do have a balanced equation. We have 20 on one side and 20 on the other side. We used division to help us do this since we had a multiplication equation. We used that inverse operation and we were able to solve the problem.